Welcome to Java Talk. I'm your host, Jeffrey Harman. I'm sitting here today with Director of Athletic Communications, Dan Genzler. Dan, how you doing?
Great, Jeff. Glad to be here. Thanks for having me on.
Of course. So, you hear Director of Athletic Communications. Now, being an athlete at USF, and there's tons of them, a lot of people know who you are, kind of know what your job entails, but for people that may not, what exactly do you do? What is it day by day? Because when you hear Director of Athletic Communications, it seems kind of vague, you know?
It's kind of like a public relations job. We work on the website, write press releases, work with media, coordinate media relations. We work with the marketing department and help promote the University of Sioux Falls in the best regard possible. Everything is about trying to push University of Sioux Falls, its student athletes, coaches, and the brand itself out to the public in the best way possible.
Yeah. So the job entails, you have so many different sports going on at one time.
Mm-hmm.
So how is it difficult, or how do you find time during the fall semester? You got football, volleyball, soccer, tons of sports going on. How do you personally find the time to get to each one and show them all an equal amount of love?
Well, we have an assistant athletic director, Eric Zahn, that works with me. He handles some of the sports, like he does soccer and volleyball. He does men's golf and so on. And he's involved with those sports while I try to take care of like football and basketball. He also does women's basketball. I do men's basketball, and then there's cross country. And yeah, the fall is always an interesting dynamic because we start with football and cross country and soccer and volleyball all at once. And then about right now, we turn into basketball and swimming and diving, and then track and field is starting as cross country, football, volleyball, soccer and cross country are coming to a close. Hopefully the football team you and your team will be able to make the playoffs, and then it'll go into December, right? So that'd be perfect, right?
Yeah, so how do you transition? Like, how do you guys as a team, okay, you have fall sports, then you move to winter sports almost like immediately. And sometimes, like you say, if football does make a push into the playoffs, they run into each other.
Right.
So even then, how do you make that transition, make it as smooth as possible, and kind of get your mind onto something else?
Well, we have a tremendous staff. While it isn't necessarily a big staff, we coordinate together. We have meetings every week on how do we deal with events and prepare for them, whether it's football or basketball. We have these game day meetings, and then we have regular meetings to coordinate that. We have a good staff. I mean, we got in ticketing, Daniel Vanderwood, he handles that. Our external relations associate AD is Ben Krush, and Pam Gohl is the compliance director, as a lot of athletes know, but she handles so many other things. She's number 2, and she's the senior associate AD. And then of course Josh Schneider, he'll get his hands in there and help out, and whether it's setting up the suite level of a Bob Young field or going out and meeting with donors and corporate sponsors. Josh Schneider is he's leading the department. And then we have an icon at the University of Sioux Falls, Ken Kortemeyer. He doesn't like to be called Ken, he's Sid. And so, and then we have students, sports management and media students that have helped us over the years and are helping us currently. So you try to just use those as a team. I mean, all you student athletes, you know this, I mean, it's about the team. And so that's how we have to operate. And so when we have these transitions to sports, that's what it takes. It takes a coordinated effort, and sometimes we have to hire some people to help us on the outside.
Yeah. So this is going to be the conclusion of your 4th fall here at USF.
Yeah.
How have you seen the school and the athletic programs grow over the last 4 years? I mean, you came just 2 years after they entered Division II. How have you seen all the athletic programs really just grow to wrap up here?
One of the things that I've noticed over each and every year that I've been here, and I think it happens when you become more accustomed and familiar with your surroundings. You see a greater energy year by year because you see it personally, because you get to know the people better. And I think there's been a tremendous energy this year with the student athletes. I think I think social media and all those different aspects of the media haven't stopped the student athletes and students overall here from doing what they need to do, and that is to work toward their way to graduation. That's the ultimate goal, to get your degree so you can be prepared to go out in the work world. And I think that has been advanced year by year since I've been here. But again, I think it's more than I've been able to notice it even more so over the 4 years. But the student athletes are welcoming, and so are the general students and faculty and staff here. So it's a great place to be. It really falls into those mission things that USF holds dear: culture, service, faith, and then excellence in both academics and athletics, or co-curricular activities.
Well, Dan, thank you for joining us today. For Java Talks, I'm your host, Jeffrey Harman.
Thank you.